Basketball team that could make jump shots beats basketball team that could not make jump shots. That's essentially what this one came down to. The Wolves lose another one at home, this time against the Brooklyn Nets, who were in a back-to-back, but their starters played almost no minutes last night. So the starters were pretty fresh in this one, and they really showed up all game long. Brooklyn makes 16 threes on 47% shooting, but were also lethal from the mid-range, especially Mikal Bridges was just killing it from there. Spencer Dinwiddie in the second half, too. And this isn't really a Wolves loss that I'm fuming about. There were a lot of positives to pull from it, and I liked the way they played. Like I said, they just really could not shoot the ball tonight. And they also struggled from the free throw line yet again, which has been a growing problem. They miss 11 free throws. Both Jaden and Gobert would miss 4, but Gobert had a spectacular game. I also think it was the best our team as an entire has passed the ball to Gobert. There were so many assists to him, I think around 10. And it was a theme throughout the entire year that we just didn't know how to utilize him, and our passes were turning into turnovers more regularly than assists. But this game, he was so impactful, and any time he had space, he was dominating. And the Wolves were solidly in control for about the first 60% of this game, but Brooklyn would just never really fade away and fall behind by much. And that entire time, you just felt like we should be up more than we are, and that's something that seems to always catch up to us. And we're not a team that does well fighting from behind, so having a minus 17 third quarter and trailing in that fourth didn't work out well for us, although we would complete a comeback and force it into overtime as Naz Reid would hit a buzzer beater 3. And it was his first points of the game, too, because he struggled offensively and was fouling a fair amount. Our bench brought a decent amount of defensive intensity, but didn't do much on offense, and we couldn't get a lot of contribution from people outside of Kyle Anderson, Anthony Edwards, and Gobert, and then Jaden a little bit, too. And the jump shooting was so bad in the second half. We only made 2 threes, and they were both in the last 3 minutes of the half, and we would have 13 missed threes in a row, too. Overtime was a bit of a thriller, too, and there was a lot of exciting moments. You could hear the crowd just going berserk in that one. Anthony Edwards gets 2 big-time blocks in the same possession. He is actually 5th in the NBA in stocks, steals, and blocks combined. And I think he's number 1 for guards. And that narrative that followed him around, especially early on this year, that he didn't do anything on defense, I think is really fading away, and he can be special on that end in a lot of ways, especially as an on-ball defender. Wolves had a chance to win that one at the end with the final possession. Anthony Edwards gets double-teamed, sees a lot of contact with no call, gets it over to Conley, who has to take a heavily contested 3. Does not go in. Conley did a lot of good things in that game, but he still struggles to score. He doesn't have to be putting up 19 a night like D'Lo was, but he's got to be in double digits more nights than he has been, and the efficiency really hasn't been there either. I'm hoping that stabilizes. He's a great player. Hopefully this is just a short slump. It was a good effort by the Wolves. They couldn't close it out. Tough game. You gotta make some buckets. It's a make or miss league.